Me finally snapping on a guy that is always extremely misogynistic towards us.
Those are not for shopping.
They're signs.
Oh my god.
Please do not go through the bins. How many times do I have to keep asking you? It was in the bin.
Here you go. Have a good one.
It's in the bin. The box is in the bin. How do you not see that? We tell you this every time you come in.
Dude, what does he mean by the women are messing with his head by taking off clothes off of us? Don't say anything to me. Keep walking, sir. Oh my god, please.
Not now. Do you understand the dynamics of what's going on in your store?
I don't.
Exactly. Manage that.
Okay.
Understand that?
Yeah.
Manage that?
Nobody's talking about you, lady.
Get away. Get out. It's fine. You're good.
Keep walking. Keep walking.
Nobody's talking.
Don't look at me. Keep walking. The door's right there. Get the f out, dude. Like, are you fun? Nah, bro.
Because when the sunshine will shine together, told you I'd be here forever. Said I'd always be your friend. Took a note, stick it out till the end. Now that it's right and forever, know that we still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella.
This is what it's like to be known as dead. Now open up your eyes, you see the world that is red. Now what's the word, Captain? I think I caught you legged. They are
That woman was minding her business and you really took the time out of your day to call her body fixable, detrimental, and unhealthy. I guess it just goes to show no matter how healthy you make your body, you can't transfer that health to your brain.
You don't have to eat with your hands, but don't put on people who want to. Namaste, I'm Pavi and home for me is eating with my hands. And I wish people loved and took pride in it just like how they do when they eat with a fork, knife, spoon or chopsticks. Because like most South Indians, I grew up eating with my hands, and when I'm outside of South India, I have to fight my natural instinct to pick up food with my hands to avoid stares and being told off by people around me. And some even go as far as to say I'm being disrespectful, which doesn't make any sense because what better way to respect food than by touching it with your hands?
Welcome to a series where I teach you how to pronounce Jewish vernacular you've probably been saying wrong. Kvelling. Oh my gosh, you got into your dream school? I'm kvelling. Schmendrick. You made that same mistake again? What a schmendrick. Oy vey, I can't believe I forgot another assignment. Fetching. You're always fetching about something. My bubby is so sweet. I love her. Zadie. You need to trim your nose hairs. They're out of control, okay? Reel it in. Shalom. I think everyone knows how to say shalom, but I'm throwing this in there for that one person who might be saying shalom. For some reason, it's shalom. You're welcome. Thank me later.
I'm gonna try to keep an open mind here. Measuring human intelligence is a waste of everyone's time. Oh, is one person smarter than another person? What does that even mean? And yeah, there are a bunch of different ways of measuring the cognitive ability of people, but most of them just happen to be racist. What do I mean racist? Well, IQ scores, for instance, have higher average scores for white people than for black people. And of course, the entire field of measuring intelligence does trace back to things like race science. But also, measures of intelligence tend to test for proficiency in academia or at a job. In other words, intelligence tests try to predict for success, and they're not even very good at doing that. But clearly intelligence is complex and multidimensional, much more than how you do in school or at a job. If you think how much money you make is how intelligent you are, you're stupid. Meanwhile, researchers can't agree on how to measure intelligence or even what it is, so until then, it's effectively meaningless. You have failed again.
You're a fucking Fed. I know it. I know that you're a Fed. I know to my core that you're a federal agent.
Please stop being concerned about me when you see me like this in the cold. The prophecy says a hoe never gets cold, and I believe the hot grows before I believe in hypothermia. A little context if you care to listen. I find myself in a shit position. The man that I love sat me down last night and he told me that it's over, done decision. And I don't wanna feel how my heart is ripping. In fact, I don't wanna feel, so I stick to sipping. And I'm out on the town with a simple mission.
Apropos of nothing in particular, I would like to remind y'all of the 8 steps to abolition laid out in 2020. You can pause to read. 1. Defund police. 2. Demilitarize communities. 3. Remove police from schools. 4. Free people from prisons and jails. 5. Repeal laws that criminalize survival. 6. Invest in community self-governance. 7. Provide safe housing for everyone. 8. Invest in care, not cops. This year, when you see laws being advanced that make trans existence punishable by 5 years in prison, next week when you see the footage of another brutal murder of a black man at the hands of Memphis police, I want you to remember that you are not powerless, and that the greatest moves are made in silence and together. This time, instead of talking about how shocked and horrified you are, do your research, find your local organizers, figure out what you can do to contribute, and get involved. The time for talk is over, the time for direct action is now. Say his name, Tyre D. Nichols.
Hi, I'm Ez, and get ready with me to go buy myself flowers. I'm thinking this skirt could be quite pretty. I actually haven't bought myself flowers in ages because usually I really struggle to keep them alive, but I'm really think this is my one chance. I can do it this time, and I'm thinking yellow flowers could be really pretty. I'm actually freezing and this is not very practical, but this is the top that I'm going to be wearing. I want to show you the way I tie this. So look at this. Bam. Look how quick that is. I am going to be getting the skeleton hoodie out again because it is so freezing outside today. So this is my outfit. I'm going to go buy myself some flowers now.
Make my feet tight. Oh, nice classic joke about the husband stitch. Let me explain it to you. See, this creator took a sound that said, make my shit tight, and is applying it to an illegal medical procedure performed on a woman who is unaware of it and has not consented to it. In this case, the woman is the mother of his child and his wife, the person he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And the medical procedure is one that he thinks will just make sex better for him, and will also cause a huge amount of pain and discomfort for the wife, and also will not make sex better for him because tightness is not about the opening. This is such a great joke. Women are going to love it because there's nothing they love more than being objectified, having their bodily autonomy violated, and not being able to trust men.
This is the only restaurant in the world where you can taste all the flavors of southern India in just one meal. Namaste, I'm Pavi and this is a 13-course fine dining experience where you start off with a raita in a spoon, tomato rasam made in a French press and served in a martini glass, which was phenomenal by the way. And then you start with dishes with getting flavors of Tamil Nadu from the chicken with curry leaf and peppery lamb brain fritter and pork belly made with chilies from Ooty. And then you move to Kerala by slurping the coconut stew with asparagus and idiyappam and Uttukali chicken with Malabar parota. Then you cleanse your palate with this orange and ginger sorbet and move to Karnataka where you have lamb rice in a banana leaf. Then you make your way to Andhra Pradesh where you have the sea bass with gongura emulsion and butter rice. And then to Orissa to taste their flavors with this shrimp dumpling. Then you jump over to Maharashtra to have this crunchy cauliflower with pomegranate and end your journey in Kerala with a pan-seared lobster. But just when you think you're done, you're presented with a mango pudding with a ghee candle on top, which you can diffuse by breaking a papad over it and then let them take you back to where you came from with a coconut and coffee ice cream that reminds you of filter coffee. And you finish this whole experience like you end every meal in South India with a pan. This is Avartana at ITC Grand Chola in Chennai, India.
Poverty is expansive. It is designed to gobble you up. And if you are not already poor, you are poor in waiting. Grab your tea. I'm having a dirty chat. I do just want to say that the Glow was sponsored by having an active politic, and you can have an active politic by giving me $1 and helping me buy my family a tractor so that nobody starves. Thank you. You are either poor or poor in waiting. What do I mean by that? I mean that poverty is twofold. Poverty is your personal lack of access to funds and a structural lack of access to resources. Those of us in the United States can think pretty individualistically about poor and what makes somebody poor. Poor and rich are relative words. They are designed to keep us looking to our neighbors and comparing our resources rather than us looking to the ruling class and comparing our resources. This is important to note because ruling class has world-making money, as in they do not have to depend and they are actively against social support, governmental support, public support. It's one of the reasons we don't have public housing in the United States. You are not rich until you have infrastructure money, as in if the healthcare system were to collapse in say the next 3 years because we keep getting hit with wave of COVID, do you got out-of-pocket cancer money? You got out-of-pocket car crash money? You got out-of-pocket my kid is sick and I didn't anticipate that money? Do you have that today? More so, do you have that if the healthcare infrastructure were to completely collapse? We are living in the beginning of a failing state. As in the United States and across the world, we do not have free and public access to shelter, housing, clothing, sanitation, education, and medical care. I don't like poverty metrics because they try to define poverty as something that is small and definitive. Poverty is expansive and it is designed to gobble you up. You are either poor or poor in waiting. So instead of pointing fingers at one another, calling each other irresponsible for reproduction, which y'all apparently need a refresher on reproductive rights, so we're gonna get to that. But instead of pointing the finger at one another, we should be looking at each other, figuring out how we can help one another. Which again, speaking of help, if you've been following along, I am fundraising for agricultural and economic justice for my people in Sierra Leone. Please give me $1. I am trying to buy my family a tractor. Hi, Key, we are like this close to being able to purchase a tractor within the next week. I need like 20 grand by Friday. If we can do that, I will stop ignoring you all and I will drop the skincare routine. I will. $1 for the glow, small price to pay. Pay up. Love you. Have a good one.
Killed him. You think they killed him because he killed his people? Hell no. They killed him because, listen to me real good, he touched my nerve with that question. Did you know that in Libya, nobody's homeless? Listen. Everybody in Libya has either a home or an apartment. They call it a flat. Did you know education in Libya is free? From kindergarten through college? And did you know that if a Libyan wanted to come to America to be educated, the government in Libya paid for their education? Did you know that? I was there when he opened a $500 million hospital with 18 theaters for operation. I was there, and we went when he was making their own medicines. See, this was a man that gave free medical attention to all the citizens of Libya, and if Libya did not offer that kind of medical attention, they could fly anywhere in the world and get it, and the Libyan government would pay for it. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Did you know that from the oil money, every Libyan citizen got a stipend every year? And did you know that that man had no debt? Everything in his country was paid for. See? Now when you got a man that did that for an African nation and was trying to do that for all Africa, how do you think Europe felt about
I saw her hair like the branch of a tree, willow dancing on air before covering me, under cotton and calicos, over canopied dapple long ago. True that love in withdrawal was the weeping of me.
Shit like this brings the movement down. Everyone's a feminist until there is a spider around.